They argued so hard, they forgot what they were arguing about. I'm Ethan Blake, and I'm still trying to piece together a plotline from this mess.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to the nominees. Thank you all for being here. Mr. Rogers, let me start with you. As you might know, on the 6th of May, I sent a letter to the Secretary, Ms. Chavez-Derry, on a topic that's extremely important to me and to my state, and that's illegal child labor. I relayed to the Secretary whistleblower information that I have received from an employee at Tyson Foods, alleging that that individual employee had witnessed underage labor in a Tyson's plant. That same whistleblower also had information regarding other underage employees at other plants, and this is by no means an isolated incident. The New York Times even has done a comprehensive series of stories on underage illegal child labor in various poultry processing plants around the country, including Tyson Food. Now, I'll tell you why it's particularly irksome to me, because Tyson Food unceremonially closed 2 major plants in the state of Missouri after telling our workers and farmers they would remain open. They canceled contracts with our farmers, putting many of them into bankruptcy. They fired all of the workers, sending many of them into destitution. And what we learned instead is that Tyson is happy to hire and use illegal, hire is the wrong word. They're happy to use illegal child labor in their supply chains. So they're punishing Missourians, they're closing our plants, they're breaking our contracts, but they're hiring illegals and they're using child labor. So let me just ask you, are you familiar, broadly speaking, with these reports as it regards Tyson and other poultry processors?
Senator, I'm generally aware of the reports, but not the particulars that you mentioned.
Well, following my letter to the Secretary, the acting head of the department, the division that you are now nominated to fill, responded to me and said the following: protecting children against illegal child labor is one of the top priorities of the department and the Wage and Hour division. Wage and Hour investigates every actionable complaint, tip, and referral about child labor violations, takes those allegations very seriously. He went on to say that the Wage and Hour division is engaged, I'm quoting now, the Wage and Hour division is engaged in ongoing investigations of Tyson Foods and its contractors under the FLSA. So here's my question for you. Should you be confirmed, will you continue WHD's open investigation of Tyson Food?
Well, Senator, I can't comment without knowing more of the details, but I certainly commit to continue to investigate offensive child labor wherever it may be.
Okay, good. And let me just ask you a little more specifically, what actions would you anticipate taking to ensure that illegal child labor is not possible in this country in the year 2025?
Well, Senator, there's a lot of ways in which the department can focus on continuing to do, as Secretary Chavez-Derry mentioned, to double down on enforcing against oppressive child labor. And one of those ways is to use the resources that we have and to use the data that's available to drive down where those violations are most likely, take tips such as yours, and to move forward as aggressively as possible to make sure that we can eradicate unlawful child labor in this country.
I just want to emphasize to you that this issue is of the highest importance to me. I think it is absolutely unconscionable that we have child labor being used widely by these mega corporations, and I'm particularly incensed that it has happened to the detriment of Missouri workers. I don't like being lied to, and I will tell you that the CEO of Tyson Food has lied to me, and he has lied to the people of my state. And I don't like it being lied to and then having the law broken in front of my face, flouted in front of me. As a former prosecutor, it irritates me, it rankles me, it infuriates me. And I want to see some justice here. I want to see justice for the kids who are being illegally employed. And yeah, I want some justice for the Missouri workers who were tossed out in the cold because Tyson Food has chosen to found its supply chain on illegal labor and child labor. So I just want to underscore for you that this is the highest priority for me. And if you are confirmed, I'll look forward to working with you on it. I can promise you, you'll hear a lot about it from me.
I look forward to that, Senator.
Great. Mr. Berry, the Biden administration in 2023 rescinded the Trump administration's previous rule on religious exemptions for federal contractors and subcontractors, as I'm sure you're aware of. The effect of that was to strip away protections that ensured that faith-based organizations didn't have to violate their consciences in order to compete for federal contracts. My question is, does DOL plan to reinstate the implementing legal requirements for that previous rule? Will you put back in place the protections?
Senator, religious liberty, including in the practice of business and contracting, is of the utmost importance under the Constitution, and my personal views. That will be, I think it's a serious issue that will have to be worked into the department's larger plans for federal contractors. But
will you advocate for it?
I will absolutely support robust protections for religious liberty.
Good. Well, I see my time's expired, and I never go over my time, Mr. Chairman. That's a joke. I'm sure the other nominees are just devastated I didn't get to ask you questions, so I'll have some more questions for you for the record. Congratulations to all of you. Thanks for your willingness to serve. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You want to see what righteous anger looks like in the Senate? Watch Senator Josh Hawley go scorched earth on Tyson Foods and the Biden administration's cowardly refusal to stop child exploitation in America, yes, child labor, in 2025. This wasn't just a line of questioning, it was a ferocious indictment, a moral alarm bell. And if you're not fired up after watching this exchange, check your pulse. Let's start with the gut punch. Illegal child labor is not just happening in some remote corner of the world. It's happening right here in American meatpacking plants in 2025. And yes, one of the largest culprits is Tyson Foods, a corporation that had no problem shutting down Missouri plants, leaving workers destitute, while reportedly using underage workers in its supply chain. And Senator Hawley, he wasn't having any of it. He launched straight into his fury, recounting how he sent a whistleblower letter to the labor secretary, detailing a first-hand account of underage labor inside a Tyson facility. Not rumors, not speculation, an employee inside the company saying it out loud. And what's more, this isn't isolated. Even the New York Times, no MAGA ally, has exposed widespread illegal child labor across poultry plants, including Tyson's. But here's where the MAGA movement stands up. Hawley refuses to let corporate America exploit children, dodge accountability, and destroy local communities. And he says it in plain terms. They're punishing Missourians, they're closing our plants, they're breaking our contracts, but they're hiring illegals and using child labor. That's not economic policy. That's corporate betrayal. And the nominee, Mr. Rogers, he tries to tiptoe through the swamp. He says he can't comment on open investigations. He offers vague commitments about taking tips seriously and allocating resources. But Hawley presses harder. Will you continue WHD's open investigation of Tyson Foods? Rogers wavers. He won't commit directly. And that's when Hawley shifts from prosecutor to patriot. This is the highest priority for me. I want to see justice for the kids being illegally employed and for the Missouri workers who were tossed out like trash. You could feel the tension tighten. This is what MAGA looks like when it goes to war for the working class. Because what's happening isn't just illegal, it's immoral. Let's be clear. Tyson Foods didn't just close plants. They lied to workers, they ripped up contracts, they sent farmers into bankruptcy, and then they turned around and, according to whistleblower testimony and major investigations, filled the gap with illegal underage labor. And the Biden administration, they've done nothing but talk in circles and water down enforcement. That's why Hawley's line hits like a sledgehammer. I don't like being lied to. The CEO of Tyson has lied to me and to my state. This isn't political theater. This is a senator speaking for the forgotten class. The ones who wake up at 4 a.m. to feed chickens, who trust their contracts, who get discarded by multinational corporations like collateral damage. And then, just when the fire couldn't get hotter, Hawley pivots to another nominee and drops the second hammer of the day, religious liberty. He reminds the committee that in 2023, the Biden administration rescinded Trump-era protections for faith-based contractors, stripping away the right of Christian organizations to operate according to their beliefs while competing for federal work. Let that sink in. The left won't protect your kids from being forced into dangerous labor, but they will make sure your church can't bid on a contract unless it compromises on its faith. Hawley asks nominee Mr. Berry if the department will reinstate those protections. Berry offers another bureaucratic non-answer, but Hawley's message is already delivered. Under a MAGA government, religious liberty isn't optional. It's constitutional and it's non-negotiable. The real kicker? Hawley closes the hearing with humor. After obliterating the hypocrisy, corporate deception, and ideological overreach, he ends with a grin and a joke about not going over his time. Because that's the Hawley way. Tough, principled, unshakably clear, and still calm enough to smile after dropping truth bombs. This is what real representation looks like. Not pandering, not posturing, but standing between corrupt megacorporations and the families they betray. Between bloated bureaucracies and the workers they abandon. Between child labor and corporate profit margins. So if you're wondering who's fighting for working families in 2025, it's not the Biden bureaucrats in three-piece suits. It's not the execs at Tyson. It's the Republican senators who refuse to stay silent while America's values get trampled. And as long as voices like Josh Hawley's are echoing through the halls of the Senate, those who exploit, deceive, and destroy for profit, they'd better start sweating, because we are not backing down. Not for our children, not for our workers, and definitely not for some billionaire CEO hiding behind a corporate logo.